Hi everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the SCU Show. I'm your host, SCU, episode number 57. I'm wearing a sweater because it's very cold in the room I'm in, so I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt. It's just not a good idea. Obviously, if you understand the cold, you get it. You wear long sleeve shirts. It's kind of, common sense. But anyway, let's get to the sports stuff. Last week we talked about Carson Wentz, or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. We talked about how he was going to go to the Bears. Well, he didn't. Carson Wentz has been traded to the Indianapolis Colts for a couple picks, a few that could become first-round picks if something happens or something around there, according to Adam Schefter and Chris Mortensen. And now Carson Wentz is out of Philadelphia, and he has former offensive coordinator Frank Reich, who is now his head coach. And everybody talks about, MVP season 2017. Do you remember that? Frank Reich was his OC. That means he's going to win a Super Bowl this year. Hold the brakes, people. Seriously. I don't even know if Carson Wentz is going to win his own division. It has nothing to do with him or his team. He has a very talented defense led, of course, by Darius Leonard. Look at the division he's in and how it's going. Outside, what do you want to talk about Houston? Because we already know Houston's a dumpster fire. They're looking like absolute garbage right now. But you look at the other teams in the AFC South compared to the Colts. The Titans are always getting better. They're just going to continue to get better. They have a very talented receiver in A.J. Brown. They have the greatest running back in the NFL right now, Derrick Henry, back-to-back 1,000-yard rush seasons. He just ran for over 2,000 in 2020. I saw a stat this morning on Instagram. The reason was CBS who posted it. Derrick Henry had 3 games of 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in 2020. Jim Brown, Barry Sanders, and LaDainian Tomlinson each had 3 games of that sort of game with 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in their careers. Derrick Henry had it in 1 season. That's absolute dominance. That just tells you what a great running back Derrick Henry is and how he makes the Titans such a much better team. And then they also have, of course, Ryan Tannehill, quarterback. Now, I did question, I don't know if they should sign him to a 4-year deal after he took him to the AFC title game. That's all cool and all. He proved me wrong. He proved everybody wrong. Ryan Tannehill had a great 2020 season. Another one. And he's doing exactly what I was hoping he would do when he was with Miami. He said before he tore his ACL, he said he was looking to become more of a running quarterback. And look at him now. Just look at him now in Tennessee. He's doing great for himself. Great passer, great runner, can do it all. Kind of reminds me of Marcus Mariota, but he's winning more than Marcus Mariota did in Tennessee. They have one of the best receivers in the NFL, A.J. Brown. Tennessee is loaded. They have a great head coach, Mike Vrabel. Tennessee has everything going for them. Jacksonville, look what they're about to get. Trevor Lawrence, top quarterback, right? Everybody loves Trevor Lawrence. He's the next John Elway is what I keep hearing. I don't know if it's true, but he does have a great head coach in Urban Meyer who knows about winning. He's won at Bowling Green, Utah, Florida, and Ohio State. 4 college football programs have won at Urban Meyer. So I don't doubt that the Jacksonville Jaguars, as dumpster fires as the front office is, I don't doubt that the Jacksonville Jaguars can win with the head coaching duo of Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer. I don't doubt that at all. And if anybody really does, I would like to know why you think that. I'm on Twitter at RankFanatic2, as always. So as far as Indianapolis goes, here's another thing about the Colts and Carson Wentz, and why I'm not sure if it's going to work. Carson Wentz, his top receiver right now, who is not a free agent, who will be with the team in 2021, Michael Pittman Jr. And no, it has nothing to do with the fact that Michael Pittman Jr. will not give up his number 11 jersey number. This has to do with the fact that Pittman, who's right now going to be the top receiver for the Colts, if T.Y. Hilton does not go anywhere, he had 1 touchdown in 2020. And I was a big fan of Michael Pittman coming out of USC. 1 touchdown reception with Phillip Rivers, Hall of Fame quarterback, on a playoff team. That's just not good enough. If you're Michael Pittman, you have to step your game up. And I'm not saying the Colts are not going to be better or not. I'm not saying the Colts are going to be bad with Carson Wentz. They're going to be a good team. But Michael Pittman is going to be key for their success. If they want to win the AFC South, the Colts want to win the AFC South in 2021, excuse me. If the Colts want to win the AFC South in 2021, Michael Pittman needs to be the man that steps up for this team. If not, the Titans are going to run away with this division once again, and Jacksonville might even get ahead of them. depending on what happens with Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer. So there's that. I'm not saying I am not anti Carson Wentz. My friends will see this and they'll say, "Oh my God, Steven, SCU is so anti Carson Wentz." No, I'm not. I gave him credit after that game on Sunday Night Football against the 49ers. He threw to I forget the guy's name. The third string wide receiver scored a touchdown or two, wound up leading them to a victory in San Francisco over Jimmy Garoppolo. I gave Carson Wentz credit for that. If Carson Wentz does well this year, I'll give him credit for it. I just don't think, and I'm not sure, if they're going to win the AFC South or make the playoffs. AFC is pretty damn loaded. We'll get to that in another show. Okay, so we talked about this, I think, last week. The Detroit Lions are a crapshoot. Or a couple weeks ago, the Detroit Lions are garbage. We talked about this. And I said, even with, trading for Jared Goff, who, by the way, I say this often and I'll say it again. We went first overall in 2016 after throwing 6 touchdowns in a bowl game against Air Force. That's why Jared Goff went first overall in 2016, which still makes no sense to me. And we're seeing that now. I brought up stats last week with Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, and that wide receiver core in LA, less than 4,000 yards. Matt Stafford with Kenny Golladay, however, for a few games anyway, with Marvin Jones, over 4,000 yards. Obviously, the Rams' receiving core is better than Detroit's, and Matt Stafford had a better stats than Jared Goff. Now Jared Goff gets the crappy receiving core in Detroit, and Matt Stafford gets the high-octane offense in LA with Sean McVay. So, like I said we would, let's look over the Lions' schedule. How crappy are the Lions going to be? We'll start with the Packers, the Vikings, and the Bears. The Packers are going to annihilate the Lions in both games. That is no doubt about it. Minnesota, if they can fix that defense, get some better draft picks or look at the free agency, spice up that defense pretty much. Minnesota's going to beat Detroit in both games. I don't care if they're close. Detroit's not losing not winning either of those games. The Bears are crapshoot as well. They were that close to getting Carson Wentz and maybe figuring things out, but now they're about to lose. Now they're stuck with Mitch Trubisky, and maybe Nick Foles might not be the quarterback I think he is, and Allen Robinson wants to go to Miami. He doesn't want to stay in Chicago. And Tariq Cohen was a part of the trade talks with the Bears and the Eagles. So the Bears have no idea what they're doing either, just like Houston and just like Detroit. So those games could be 3-0 games. But if they beat any team, there are 2 teams I think they'll beat, if at all. And that's the Bears, and that's the Falcons. And I think the Falcons are about to go get themselves a new quarterback and get rid of Matt Ryan, but we'll get to that in a moment. So Packers, Vikings, Bears, that's 0-6. At the Rams, that's a loss. Come on, we just talked about it. Matt Stafford's going to annihilate that Detroit defense, and Jared Goff's going to throw 4 or 5 picks. It's a loss. 0-7. At Cleveland, the Browns are a better team. Let's be real. The Browns are a better team. With or without OBJ, they're going to beat the Lions. The Lions are now 0-8. Home against Arizona, loss. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals are choked. They had a choke job last week. I see them bouncing back this season. They go into Detroit and beat the Lions, 0-9. And they're home against the Niners. That's a loss. We'll get to that in a moment. We do have some interesting quarterback talk about the Niners. Baltimore is going to rip them apart. I assume, of course, the schedule will come out for another 2 months, but I assume that game will be on Thanksgiving. And we'll get another massacre like we did last year when they lost to Houston. The Bengals will win. They're about to go get Penny Sewell, get Joe Burrow some help, and Joe Burrow's going to have a great game. Home against the Eagles. I don't know who the Eagles quarterback is going to be now because there's talks that they're going to look into a quarterback at the 6th pick, which I don't get. But if Jalen Hurts or maybe another quarterback starts in there, they're going to win. The Eagles have a okay team. They're not a great team, but they'll beat the Lions, I think. At Pittsburgh, annihilation. That defense was the best in the league last year. That's why the Steelers were 11-0. At the Seahawks, annihilation. At the Falcons, like I said, if they beat 2 teams this year at all, it's the Lions, it's the Bears, and it's the Falcons. But I think the Falcons are about to go get themselves a new quarterback, and they'll beat the Lions. So really, the Lions can kind of be one team maybe, and that's Chicago. And I would not doubt the Bears sweep the Lions in 2021, And Detroit goes 0-16 for the second time in franchise history. So there's that. Like I said, we're going to go over it. We went over it. The Lions 0-16. Look at their schedule. Again, Packers, Vikings, Bears twice. It's at the Rams, at the Browns, home against Arizona, home against the Niners, Ravens, Bengals, Eagles, at the Steelers, at the Seahawks, and at the Falcons. Brutal schedule. And they don't have the team to compete. The Lions do not have the team to compete with their schedule. Meanwhile, and everybody talks about this more often than they do with Detroit because it's a more interesting story, New England. Everybody's talking about New England they're done. The Bills are going to dominate the East now because they got Josh Allen, who had a great season in 2020. It's all great, awesome. Yeah, that's cool. That's fine. And damn proud of for Josh Allen. He shut me up big time. I saw Josh Allen would never succeed in the NFL, and now he's won several playoff games. That's awesome. But New England is not done yet. Their quarterback and a few receivers away from being a great team once more. Bill Belichick is not an idiot. He's a great coach. Obviously, one of the best coaches ever. He's won, 8 rings? 2 with the G-Men, 6 with New England. Not to mention, a lot of people don't like to talk about this. 8 players from that defense last year opted out, including the McQuarrie brothers, who obviously were a key to winning the Super Bowl a couple years ago against the Rams. You get guys like that back. You got Dante Hightower is going to come back. The Patriots are going to be fine. They really are. They're, again, like I said, they're basically just a quarterback and a receiver away from getting back to normal. Now, I don't know if New England's going to win the AFC East again. Might be Buffalo's. Maybe Tua will step up, and the Dolphins will find him some great receivers. Now they're getting rid of a couple of their guys. We're not going to talk about the Jets because, come on. But New England's going to be fine. Let's calm down. Let's pump the brakes. They're not going to be as bad as they were last year. As long as they find a quarterback, which I think they will. Absolutely think the Patriots will find a new quarterback and be just fine. There you have it. This is our here. So we talked about this. I mentioned this a few times earlier in the show about Matt Ryan and what his next story is, or whatever the heck the case might be. Well, here are there's 7 teams I have on my list right now that need a new quarterback or need to do something about their quarterbacks. The Falcons, the Bears, the Texans, the Patriots, the Jets, the Broncos, and the Panthers. So let's play a little quarterback matchmaker. Sort of. Not too much. Like, what do these teams do with at their quarterback position? Let's start with the Falcons. Trade Matt Ryan. Trade him. Trade him to the 49ers for Jimmy Garoppolo. And I've been thinking about this all week long. How Matt Ryan and Jimmy Garoppolo are basically the same freaking guy. They have the same talent. They've run about the same. They have the same arm. They have so much. Matt Ryan and Jimmy Garoppolo have so much similarities. Trading them for one another would be like the same thing, pretty much. But I think Jimmy Garoppolo would have more success with the Falcons than Matt Ryan would with the 49ers. Not only that, though, but we'll stop there. Falcons go get Justin Fields. Absolutely, the Falcons get Justin Fields. Let him grow under Jimmy Garoppolo for a year or two. And then you have your franchise quarterback right there. Another one. Matt Ryan he took the Falcons to a Super Bowl, 28-3, or makes jokes. But Matt Ryan did so much great things for the Falcons since being drafted in 2008. But now the time's come. He's been a crappy quarterback since that Super Bowl loss. He hasn't done anything. This team has done nothing. It's time to start rebuilding. And I think with Jimmy Garoppolo, you can maybe compete for second place with New Orleans, because obviously Drew Brees is probably going to retire. The Bucs will win the division again. And then you have Justin Fields, who's learning under a talented quarterback, Garoppolo, who took the 49ers to a Super Bowl. It's a win-win situation for Atlanta. Trade Matt Ryan to the 49ers for Jimmy Garoppolo, draft Justin Fields, and wait it out for a couple of years. You'll be back to how you were when you made the Super Bowl back in 2017. The Bears. Give me 1 year of Foles. One more year of Foles. I'm pretty sure they're moving off of Mitch Trubisky because they didn't sign him to his franchise tag or something. 5th-year option. So he'll be gone. Give me 1 year of Foles. I'm still the firm believer in Nick Foles. I say this over and over again. He took over for Carson Wentz, won them a Super Bowl, went 6-1 in place of Wentz the next year, took to the playoffs again. You got to stop that, Nick Foles, people. Come on. Nick Foles is a great quarterback, and I need you to watch the Bears this year. If they decide to keep Nick Foles, I think they should keep Nick Foles one more year. Let him show that he is willing to be an NFL starting quarterback. Because I see it. Everybody should be able to see it. Houston, for the love of God, we talked about this last week. Release Carson Wentz, Deshaun Watson, Get rid of him. If you're going to let J.J. Watt walk, why aren't you going to let Deshaun Watson walk? You're showing how, again, we talked about this last week. You're showing what a crap franchise you are. Like the Lions. You're just sure you are the Detroit Lions of the AFC, pretty much. Your front office is garbage. Jack Easterby, I think, is the mastermind behind all the dysfunction. Get rid of Deshaun Watson and sign Ryan Fitzpatrick. He is, I don't want to say, he's the talented quarterback. You can't deny that, but he's no Tom Brady. He's no Drew Brees. He's no Patrick Mahomes. But Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to win these games. And in the AFC South, where you have to go up against Tennessee and Indianapolis and maybe Jacksonville, winning a few games with Ryan Fitzpatrick, that'd be a win for your franchise. That would be a huge win for your franchise. New England. Trey Lance. I said this to my friends. I'm pretty sure I might have said this on the show. It doesn't matter where Trey Lance goes in the NFL. Trey Lance is going to succeed. He is the most talented quarterback, in my opinion. We can talk about Trevor Lawrence all we want. But Trey Lance had a season with 49 touchdown passes and no picks. Not only that, but he is a running quarterback. Like, he's a fast running quarterback. He's a smaller guy. He kind of reminds me of Russell Wilson. Small, can run, great passer. It doesn't matter where Trey Lance goes. He's going to be great, even with New England. I mean, he'll have Bill Belichick. I wouldn't care. I would not mind at all if Bill Belichick drafted Justin Fields and just threw him into the fire. I wouldn't mind it at all. That would be absolutely great to see. I would love to see it. I would absolutely love to see that. The Jets. I mean, there's a report today. Today's Tuesday. This podcast will probably come out today or tomorrow. Or probably today, because I have my day off today. There are reports that the Jets are looking at different quarterbacks before they decide what to do with Sam Darnold. Pretty much Sam Darnold's going to be on his way out of New York. It's just a matter of when, not if, at this point. So, pretty much, I see this all the time in a lot of mock drafts. The Jets, number 2, draft Zach Wilson. I hear so many great things about him. I also heard, I think Mina Kime said on NFL Live a few days ago. He's playing against a bunch of nobodies, and I don't like that stuff because people are doing the same thing with Deion Sanders when they're playing Jackson State's playing Edward Ward College and winning 53-0. A win's a win, and if you're dominant, you're dominant, and if you're talented, you're talented. But the Jets are too much of a dumpster fire. They're not going to succeed with any quarterback they get this year. So I've just said, what the hell? Go with Zach Wilson. Why not, right? It's going to be another loss in your NFL draft, stock or whatever heck you want to call it, your draft history. But go do it. Go draft Trey Lance, just Zach Wilson. Denver. I'm glad I didn't put any money on Drew Lock last year because he was very bad. He was terrible last year. Go get Mac Jones. Mac Jones is another quarterback everyone's talking about how great he is and all this other talent. He's so talented. Well, if you send him to Denver, he'll have more talented receivers. He'll have Cortland Sutton. He'll be coming back. He tore his ACL last off season, missed the whole season. Jerry Jeudy has shown what a great route runner he is. You'll have another Alabama wide receiver with that Alabama quarterback. It kind of makes sense to me if Denver goes and gets Mac Jones. And the last one for Carolina. I was hoping one more year Teddy Bridgewater, but unfortunately Teddy Bridgewater is on his way out of Carolina, which is weird because they signed him to a 3-year deal last year, $63 million, and now they're getting rid of him. I don't get it. I wouldn't have done it. I would have kept him one more year. 2 out of the 3 years, I'll be okay. I'd be okay with that. And then you go ahead and you find another quarterback, maybe in the draft, or they're looking to sign Deshaun Watson. So I guess whatever. We'll see what happens. I would stick with Teddy one more year. But if they, it would be smart for them to go get Deshaun Watson, because obviously Deshaun Watson is more talented quarterback than Teddy Bridgewater. And there you have it, our quarterback matchmaker. That was fun. I like talking about that. Again, Matt Ryan, Jimmy Garoppolo, about the same guy. It would be fun. Justin Fields to Atlanta would be so much fun. And if he starts his rookie year, I'll sit in front of my TV all day watching that. No doubt about it. All right, now we're going to end the show here. A little NBA talk. I didn't really write this down, and I just saw it, after their win against the Lakers. I saw some interesting stuff. I was like, what? The Brooklyn Nets are not just winning. The Brooklyn Nets are dominating. They're 20-6 or 13-6 since the trade for James Harden. They just went on a 5-game road trip out west against the Pacific Division, which nobody pays attention to divisions in the NBA anyway. They swept the Pacific Division on the road. 5-game road trip. They went 5-0. And these are games. 4 of those games were without Kevin Durant. It was just Kyrie and James Harden, or maybe just James Harden, maybe just Kyrie. 4 of those games had no Kevin Durant. And they beat the Lakers, who are slacking right now, but you can't doubt the Lakers because we did that last year and they won the title. And the Clippers, another very talented team with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. So here's the thing about the Nets right now, as we record this podcast. The Brooklyn Nets are the most talented team in the NBA right now. Everybody talks about the Utah Jazz. They won 20 of 21 or 21 of 22, whatever the case is. That's fine. The Brooklyn Nets are the most talented team in the NBA as of right now. And there should be no question. They are going to represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals this year. I don't see it any other way. I mean, the big three, Durant, Harden, and Irving. We expected this from them. And I heard they're showing us. Hey, we mean business, people. They went to LA and beat the Lakers and the Clippers. Swept a whole division, 4 games out of the 5 without Kevin Durant. That is dominance. And again, the Brooklyn Nets right now are the best team in the NBA. They haven't. And with that, we are done here. I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Again, we are available on YouTube. We are on Spotify. We are on Anchor. I'm not sure where else we are. We'll have to look into that in the coming weeks. Next week, I start full-time. Well, next week is my last week. So next week, we are last week where I know I'll be recording on a Tuesday again. The week after, the week of the 8th, I start my, not my new job, but a second job that I'm working at my own, will be my only job at the time. Full-time. We'll be working from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Friday. So we'll have to look into how recording will go the rest of the way for this show. As long as I'm in Virginia, which hopefully just 1 more month. But anyway, that's it for us. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. This has been episode number 57 of the SCU Show.